Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. A couple days left before the premiere of the next season of The Bachelorettes, plural, July 11th, 2022. In the meantime, I'm resting a few days here in the Bahamas. A couple videos coming your way, just getting a nice little break from the heat here and the air conditioning on the beach. All right, which villain got engaged on Bachelor in Paradise? Reality Steve, the king of spoilers. The king of spoils, the spoiled king. He should call himself the spoiled king. Hashtag spoiled king. He announced all of the outcomes from Bachelor in Paradise, including there was a rumor of who might be the next Bachelor, and we may have that answer, we may not. I'm going to get into it. Do me a favor, like this video. It's the one thing you can do on every single one of my videos that helps support the channel, it helps the algorithm, and of course, watch time is important. Stick around though, I'm going to address what I said yesterday about Michelle addressing the $200,000. I'm going to get into all of that in a second, so stick around. That'll be afterwards, but I'm not shying away from some of your criticisms to my comments. We'll get into those in a second. Do I need to be doing this on vacation? No, not at all. But you know what I hate more than anything? People that go, Dave, you're on vacation, relax. Look, I make 1 or 2 videos a day. I can work a little bit. I can play a little bit. That's what I do. I don't need to, I don't get time off. This is just how it works. You got to keep feeding the beast. YouTube is a train, and I'm just scooping a little bit of coal, baby. All right, you guys ready for the spoilers? We're going to get into it in 3, 2, 1. Here it is, folks. Reality Steve, spoilers. Here are your Bachelor in Paradise final couple results. As we know, this just finished. By the time it airs in the fall, half these couples may be broken up. Aaron and Genevieve broke up. Logan and Kate broke up. Michael and Danielle left as a couple. Tyler and Brittany left as a couple. Johnny and Victoria engaged. She said yes. He said yes. Who knows? Brandon and Serene engaged. All right, so let's go through who's who. A lot of these contestants haven't even been on the show yet. One of them I'm friends with. Oh, I don't have any personal information. I told him I don't want him to tell me anything because I don't really care enough to spoil it. We just like to react as the commentators that we are. Johnny DiFilippo and Victoria Fuller engaged. One of the biggest surprises for me, I love Victoria Fuller in the sense that if I were single, I would probably be the one painting all of her red flags white. I'd be like, I need some more white. Can we get some white paint? White paint matters. And then I would come over there and paint all of her red flags white because I do feel like most people, she's got her own things she's working on. She's got that lace energy. I'm working on myself. And maybe Johnny DiFilippo could be the perfect companion to her. We'll have to see. We know nothing about him, although he's got a nice dimple, good hairline, and a nice 5 o'clock shadow. And if that's not a recipe for a good fantasy suite date, then I don't know what is. So there they are. Very excited to see how it plays out. Of course, the show did a huge disservice by not having Pilot Pete on this season. As you know, we shared the news a couple days ago, maybe last week, that they couldn't afford him, that they couldn't work out with a price. I actually discussed this on Reality Steve's podcast. If you want to check that out, it was from June 30th, interview with Dave Neal, comedian and Bachelor recapper. The spoiled king had me on his podcast. I have to say, whenever I'm on Reality Steve's podcast, we get so many nice comments about the sort of camaraderie that we have when we talk about the show. If you do enjoy my conversations on his podcast, reviews and sending him messages and comments on their tweets and things like that are always a good thing to do. It's always supportive when he knows that the audience is on board. I just made a video about Demi Burnett, and as we know, if you didn't, my chat on her podcast is the #1 viewed video on her channel right now. So it's really important to our growth that these contestants and commentators and people in the show know how kind of loyal our audience is. And I do think we have one of the most loyal audiences, which is wild because a lot of you guys just came around in the last 18 months, and I appreciate you all, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, little promotion within the promotion there. Brandon and Serene Russell. This is big. This is a big one. We have quite possibly the most beautiful couple we've ever seen. I mean, they're beautiful. I can't even imagine how pretty their kids would look. I feel like God would be like, should I even be making a child this beautiful? This is the most beautiful, you know what I mean? Anyway, they're also good humans, which is more important in the long term. But you know what? I say this, a lot of times good humans end up end up, well, I don't want to say looking better, but their beauty radiates from the inside out. And it's very easy to see someone who's got like a sort of a hurtful hatred within them because they end up becoming scowly on the outside. You know, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. This is the only life you have. And they're both great people. We know Brandon, the way he dealt with Michelle was, when he was broken up, was heartbreaking. And I don't think Serene, I don't actually quite remember how she handled Matt James. It was Matt James, right? After one season, my hard drives just delete all the information. But what I'm saying is this: I look forward to seeing how their relationship plays out, how they meet. I think early on, they probably both went into it looking forward to meet each other, as they were both highly sought after contestants. Do we have any more people in there? Aaron and Genevieve broke up. That'll be interesting. You know, I was an early favorite of Genevieve's. I really liked her. I didn't enjoy how her and Shanae's conversations went down. I found it to be very lowbrow from both of them. It didn't feel like a fair fight. It didn't feel productive. I'm going to see how they turn up on the show. It could quite possibly be that Genevieve and Shanae became good friends. It could quite possibly be that. A lot of times, I know this from experience, some of the people I most disliked ended up becoming really good friends with, because once we broke down maybe jealousies or insecurities, we actually found out we liked each other. Logan and Kate broke up. We know Logan was with Shanae, and then he's with Kate from the Oppenheim Group. She works for the company that owns Selling Sunset. Selling Sunset, if you haven't watched, is a great show on Netflix. I'm now watching The Unorthodox Life. Have you guys seen this show? It is a hot mess. I'm actually really enjoying it. All right, Michael and Danielle. Danielle is a catch. She's a catch. I think she worked as a nurse or something in the medical field. And Michael, of course, a big fan favorite on Katie's season. It was rumored that Michael was being groomed to possibly be the next Bachelor, which still could be true. They left as a couple, but there's months to go before the next season comes out. Somebody from Bachelor in Paradise will most likely become the next Bachelor. They'll get an edit, but if they left together, then that edit that they were trying to give him wouldn't have worked out. Tyler and Brittany left as a couple. Don't know too much about them. I believe that's Brittany Galvin. Good for her. I hope she gets a lot out of the show. As we know, the show got a lot out of her, sort of using her storyline, or lack thereof, fabrications made against her, to her detriment. So hopefully she's able to scoop up some influencer following, make some money off of it, and be redeemed at least a little bit for the atrocity that occurred on her season. Go back to all of my old episodes railing against it. Johnny, Victoria, Brandon, and Serene. So that's what we have there. Very interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, so I made this video about Michelle addressing the $200,000. Of course, I'm in the Bahamas. That is no excuse for why I didn't properly maybe prosecute my point with why I believe some people in Bachelor Nation are racist in asking what she's going to do with the money. So let me just, look, I have no fear of being redundant here. I'll just further express my point. I got a lot of comments from some of you guys saying being entitled to someone's money is racist. I'm sorry, Dave, but this is the first time I heard you say something that is 100% senseless and unfounded. Well, if that's what you feel, then, hey, you can't bat 1,000, right, folks? People would be asking what will be with the money of the Bachelorette is white, like they always do, ask about everything. It has nothing to do with race. Been watching you since the start, and I am sadly floored because you are usually always insightful and realistically in tune with people's psychology, way off this time. Asking about money is tacky, rude, unnecessary, but calling it racist, you went too woke, my friend. Please wake up. Now, Chris, Tina, appreciate you. I do. And you make some good points here. When it comes to communicating, if this was like a conversation, I'd say, hold on, let me further my point here. There are plenty of people that are curious about all things that happen in Bachelor Nation. That is not racist inherently. But there's also a portion of Bachelor Nation, like there is a portion of our country, that is racist and that do have a lot of weird microaggressions that exist. When Michelle received the $200,000 donation, by the way, this is very hard for me to toggle back and forth in my little studio setup. I'll post on my Instagram the setup here, but it's pretty funny how we can even make any videos while I'm on an island in the middle of the Caribbean. But anyway, it is not inherently racist to ask what people are doing with their money, but my point, which I'll gladly admit wasn't I said it without preparing to argue my point, but I felt it and I still do feel it. Now, what I want people to understand is this: if I say something to you guys, I'm I'm so appreciative of the one-on-one conversation it feels like we're having. So I'm talking to either 5,000 people right now or 10,000, or in my last video on the Dave Neal Show, 1.5 million people. So if I make a comment about something, I'm not necessarily talking to you, Christina. I'm not necessarily saying you are racist, or you, Deborah, or you, Johnny, or anyone else who's watching. But there are people that have left comments, none of which I'm sharing now, but those that I have seen, because I've done a lot of kind of digesting all the different comments, that are coming off extremely entitled to how they think Michelle and Nate should handle their money. Now, this is the first black couple to come out of Bachelor Nation, or at least from the lead of a show. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they were given this gift of $200,000 to start their family home together, which is a lot of money for a down payment in Minnesota. But once you take taxes out of a gift, which I think she would have to, it ain't that much money. It ain't that much money. She's underappreciated, undervalued as a teacher. She has announced that she's going to be leaving teaching because of all of the sort of stress and all the things that are involved with it that make it a very hard job to do, which I don't blame her. We need to change the system. We need every teacher to be receiving an amount of pay that is commensurate with how hard that job really is. And also, there should be more teachers so that the classrooms are smaller, so that you're not stressed and burnt out in the first place. That's a different message. So for those that were like, it's not fair, they're getting they're getting all this money, none of the other bachelors, people have gotten all this money. Who are we to say what's fair or not? Now, this is complicated because I have no proof. I have no proof that some random commenters are coming up or are not racist in their comments or intent. But I'm not doing a science experiment. I'm just sharing my commentary that we know that racism is afloat in our country, and there are plenty of instances where things aren't racist and media or other things will make it a racist divide. But at the same time, there are extraordinary amounts of microaggressions that exist that are racist. One that, of course, was huge just, I believe, a couple years ago, LeBron James' response to Laura Ingraham's shut up and dribble comment with powerful post about police brutality. So this happens all the time in the media. If someone like Colin Kaepernick takes a knee because he's protesting against police brutality, you have the President of the United States saying, shut up and play, or fire him, get him out of there, fire him, get him, he's got to go. That's such a wild microaggression. It's racist in my point of view, because we're treating people like they are just cattle for our entertainment, like they're just gladiators that we get to watch because we're the audience, and the country just shut up and play, shut up and dribble, these types of things. It's in this instance, which is not directly comparable to Michelle's, it is sickening and disgusting. It needs to be called out when we see that. Now, with Michelle's scenario, they received this money. No previous bachelor or bachelorette has received an extra bonus. But nowhere when they received the money was there any stipulation about what they would have to do with the money. An engagement ring exists when you're committed to a marriage, when you're committed to moving forward in your relationship. So it makes sense that that engagement ring would have to be given back in a sort of buffer window of 2 years by Neal Lane, so you don't just get to sell it on the black market and whatever the case may be. Nowhere was this bonus addressed, and the audience of Bachelor Nation is very much entitled to an extent. Now, Christina, that doesn't mean I'm calling you entitled, but there is a group that we watch something and we go, and we do this with influencers we go, I watch you, I support you, I spend my time and energy on you, so I'm entitled to tell you how to think or how to act. And that's simply rubbish. It's completely rubbish. But we know it exists in Bachelor Nation. So there might have been maybe 50% or 90%, I don't know the numbers, of people that are like, I wonder what's going to happen with the money. But then there's that 10% or 20% or 3%, whatever it is, there's that dark, they better give it back. It's just shut up, Cheryl, okay? They're going to do what they're going to do with it. She said they're going to donate to some charities. Hopefully she keeps some money. I think they've created enough goodwill within Bachelor Nation, and whatever they decide to do, I'm on board with. So to the people that say shut up and dribble, and to the people that say you better give that back, yeah, I do think there's microaggressions there. I do think there's control there. I do think there is a thought there. Now look, if it was Katie Thurston, clearly it wouldn't be racist to people say give it back because look, she's a white chick from Washington. But knowing what I've seen and what I've seen in the comments from some people, not you necessarily, Christine, I'm sure you're fantastic, but what I've seen from some people is not just a general curiosity, but an ownership over what someone else should do with their bonus they received at their job, because that's what this is. It's a job bonus that they received, okay? So that's where I stand on it. I don't think and again, it's a little hard to explain all these things because it's something that you just smell that's out there. A lot of times when there's microaggressions happening, it's something you smell because it's subtle. But you see a whole bunch of people that are going, wow, I feel like they need to, no, the money was for them to see it, so they don't. Look, it's you just shut up and watch the free TV show that you watch on ABC, like the rest of us, and they'll do with the money what legally they're allowed to do with it, okay? So that's my thought, folks. I hope that makes more sense. If it doesn't, you're free to disagree. I appreciate your comments. With regards to the Reality Steve spoilers, as always, this is a spoiled video, so you can comment below what you think of these spoils. Don't comment any spoilers in any of the live streams. We will be going live at 1 hour before the East Coast episode, and then right after the East Coast and West Coast episodes of the Bachelorette season premiere this Monday. And hey, to the rest of the people that are out there going, oh, Dave, you never get it wrong. You got it wrong this time. Agree to disagree. That's perfectly fine. We can see the world through a different set of lenses. And again, I don't think my whole audience is a bunch of racists saying, what are you doing with the money? But I do think that we do need to address that a portion of our country probably has some unpacking to do. Okay? Let me know what you guys think. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I'm going outside to catch some sun. Bye, everybody.